today I've got a bit of a treat for you guys. Noelle's been doing a bit of R&D on her own down in the soap room, where it's basically out of necessity. Our supplier ran out of the regular palm fruit oil that we normally use, also just known as palm oil to most folks. So we had to buy palm kernel oil. And we made this sandalwood batch, and it seemed a bit oily and it seemed a bit different. So she had me run it through the lye calculator, because all she did was use the same numbers and substituted in the palm kernel for the palm fruit. And so I ran the numbers. Apparently it needs a little more lye, but this test is kind of odd. It's about 2 days old at this point, and it lathers a lot bigger bubbles, even with apparently having extra super fats than the regular recipe does with the palm fruit oil. Now, the bar on the left that I just tested, the bigger one, I put that in the food dehydrator overnight. The bar on the right has just been sitting out like the soap down in the soap room has the rest of the batch. And I was curious if it would test differently. And surprisingly, it doesn't really. Obviously, the bigger bar is drier to start, but this one has the same lather. And I don't know, I actually really like it. So yesterday we went over the math of the super fats and everything with the goat milk. We put the goat milk as being about 5% of the recipe's fats, because when you're taking it straight from the goat like we do, it's not stable. Like in the store, they actually cream separate out and then put in like 3% and call it whole milk. But when you're actually just milking it out of the goat, it depends on what breed of goat you have, what they're eating, how early in their lactation is it, because the closer they are to having had the baby, the more fat they produce, just naturally. But anyway, we went through all the math, and we're going to do some adjustments to this to try to get it perfect. But look at this pH. It's like exactly where it's supposed to be on this bar, even though it didn't go in the food dehydrator. It's like an 8 to a 9. It's like perfect. And the one that went in the food dehydrator is also an 8 to 9, which is exactly what we're looking for. So apparently adding heat doesn't really matter, and it only has to be about 48 hours after it's made before it's done saponifying and its pH is proper. So I think this just really solidifies that the waiting the extra amount of time and letting it air dry is really just to take moisture out of the bar, because you need to know once it's fully dried what weight it's going to be for selling it. Anyway, like and subscribe.